today I'm going to talk about the topic about application of ocean current data from high frequency radars and current profilers to search and rescue missions around Taiwan. And this is the abstract. And the goal is to increase the efficiency of rescue missions. And the roughly way also says is general solution is using characteristics of ocean currents and estimates the drifting trajectory of objects like this one. And method and materials. And we will apply two methods. Method one is calculating the elevation driven by currents. And the method two is using the Monte Carlo-based software, which calls SAR map. And we will show the video status. And the materials are ocean current data. And the station we collect data is 18 high frequency radar system. And abbreviation is HFR. And the two button multi-acoustic super current profilers. And this one is the HFRS. And the blue one is HFRS, and the green one is the standard type. And it depends on its range. This one and this one is ADCPs, which are located at 20 meter depth of southwestern, marked as S. This one is S, and the other one is N. And one will be the typical HFR on the shore. This will have one control panels and PS antenna and RX antenna, which is receive and transmission. And introduction. Our purpose is to save people who are jumping in the sea, which we call PIW, person in the water. And I will show you the difference between HFRS and ADCPs. And the HFRS as well is on land, and the ADCPs is in the ocean. The target is an area. I will show you later. And the ADCPs is 1 point. It's really small related to HFRS. And the accuracy. HFRS it have more error than ADCPs because ADCPs is in situ. And the instrument is radar, and ADCPs is ship and ADCPs. The ability, I think HFRS is more powerful because the range is bigger. And the ADCPs is not so powerful because it's 1 point. And the range is bigger and very small. And I think we will consider it in military defense. So HFRs have 100 in United States, and the main product is current velocity, and ADCPs is also current velocity. And the secondary product is point-wise wave characteristic, wave height, wave area, and direction. And ADCPs is wind, wave, current, and others. And I will please remember this picture. And operational high frequency coastal radars is also one of HFRS. Is this one. And the principle of high frequency coastal radars. We have taught in physical oceanography class. You can search in Cyber University by yourself. And the principle of high frequency coastal radars. Taiwan have 12 5 microhertz long range type and 513 micro-NHE standard range type, and totally is 18 HFRs. I will take an example. Example is a long-range model. This radius is probably 150 to 220 kilometers. Its horizontal resolution around 3.75 kilometers. I will here like this one is DR 3.75 DR, and the radial direction is phi, so I think it's DC dot. And you can see it as DA, and you can cast this one, and you will get the resolution. And the example of HFRs, this one is an overlap of two stations, and this kind of overlap place is more accurate. And is HFRs accurate enough? We can test by this way. The cumulative Lagrangian separation distance normalized by the cumulative trajectory length by this one, Heisman. And this is the summation 1 to n di divided by I1 to n LOI, and the indicator value is SS. And we assume the tolerance threshold n equals to 1. And how to tell if the SS value is equal to unity? It means what? It means that the simulated trajectory agrees fully with the observed trajectory. The mean correlation coefficient and the INS between these two observations are 0.767 and 0.123 per meter per second. So yes, you can see these two pictures are very similar, and the one is more accurate. So we can say we can use HFRs. And I will talk about ADCP, and these two places what we said before, and it's N and S. And the instrument is this one and this one. And modify, how do we have low data, and how do we need to modify that? We use qubit splice interpolation. And accuracy is this one. And this is a shape of ADCP. And after drifting trajectories estimation. And the background is we use TORs, and we assume negligible wave and wind-induced wave effect, and we estimate use velocity time series and result. The first method is similar to PBD. It's a prototype of this method. And why do we use HFR? Radar. This method provides a rapid response. Second method, we will not see this one. And how to briefly using SAR map? We will input this data and compute drift derived by wind delay divergence and ocean current with two optional modules. But we will use Monte Carlo instead. And the output will be movement of drifting object and missing person. And case study of marine SAR. SAR means search and rescue. And LKP means there's now position. RP means actual recovery position. And so on means this. And N means ending position of trajectory. And case one is place. There's now place. And missing person wearing a life jacket is a PFD type. So how does it happen? The person was on recreational boats and was run overboard when his boat capsized. And the TCGA status. TCGA is like an organization, and it will save people. And we saw the missing people was found and recovered alive by the fishing boats. And the recovery place is this place, and about 3 km offshore, and deep water semi-denuclearized. Previous study shows us that the tidal ellipse depressing a linear shape in the NESW direction. Is this one. And this is the a picture. Apply to meso into case 1. Meso 1 HFR is data, and we create torus map and calculating. We derive drifting trajectory map. And this one is immersion ratio into account, and address shape is PFT type 1 or type 2. After meso 2 simulation, 1,000 particles have input into this one, and we saw the bus is more density, so we will say it is the endpoint. And case 2 PW in AD effect is almost the same with case 1, so we will say quicker. And it's almost the same, it's just this one difference. And the big factor mesoscale ADs is, so mesoscale ADs will look like this one and this one. It's different from case 1. This one, ADCP has played a powerful role here. And if we don't have the FALX, we will not have the precise data. This is the maximum position and the ending position of trajectory, and the actual recovery position is here. It's a little different, but it's okay.
Okay, stop. Go to your conclusion. Is there one conclusion slide? Concluding remark. Okay.
Conclusion is HFR system if we accurately, it will be drifting movement on case 2. ADCPS also shows its importance in particular case. It's more like a local area. And these two instruments can benefit the use of marine safety.
All right, QA. Yung-Ting Shen. Sally. Zhi. Hey.
What do you mean by saying wind lead way?
Lead way.
Yes. What's the lead way? L-E-E-W-A-Y.
Lead way.
Lead way.
Or is a wind induced. You will not, if you have an immersion ratio like a body floating on the surface, and the wind will go through it, and it will not, and it has an original velocity, and the wind come here and blow it out, and it will not show the original trajectory. So
Yeah, can you show the slides where he saw the term? Which term? Okay.
It's a body floating on the surface. And if you have wind, it maybe go here, original trajectory, and the wind blow here. So it's affect its original trajectory. It's called wind-induced lead way. Okay.
Okay. Next is Ting Shen.
If you can only buy one machine from ADCP and HFRS, which would you will buy?
It will depend on situation. If you want just a local area, I will choose ADCPS. But you want a big area like Taiwan's coast, and you will need to use HFRS. Okay.
Can you talk about more details about HFRs and ADCP's difference?
Okay, this one. HFRs are usually located on the land, and ADCPS is usually in the water. And their target is one area because HFRS is a radar. It can transmit lights and target the water wave and heights. And ADCP is just a point let's measure current velocity. Okay, briefly saying today.
Okay, Zhi.
I was wonder the both device can really rescue someone dropped in the water. So can I explain more detail about how both of the device can rescue someone dropped in the water in more detail?
Okay, let's do case 1. Case 2, the man is died, but the case 1 was rescued. Case 1 condition. This is the location and the time. And the missing person luckily wearing a life jacket. And what does it happen? The person was on recreational boat and was drawn overboard when this boat capsized. And the TCGA status is he dispatched SRUS search rescue units to the site. And the missing person was found and recovered alive by a fishing boat. How this method appear to so it's this method is according to the method to create. RP is the actual recovery position, but we predict that it will end here. So we go here and we just smaller than the range of rescue. So we found the man here. So this is the successful case. And the other one is too late, so he died.
Okay, volunteer question, any? Volunteer question? One? Okay, one. So, if the person dropped in the water, he didn't wear the rescue shirt, I don't know what they call
Life jacket.
Oh, life jacket, sorry. Okay, if he or she didn't wear the life jacket, so can he be helped or be rescued? So how they find the people dropped in the water? Is the fish boat, or you say previously if someone dropped in the water but the fisherman?
Maybe the fish boat listened to the ATCGS, and the ATCG told him to rescue the man together.
So why the fisherman don't want to rescue the people, then the device is just so useless. sorry. Okay, good.
Okay.
Because the main thing he can swim well.
Okay, my turn. Actually, this was a very interesting topic and a very useful topic, and I think the way it was presented can be improved. So the first time I saw the paper, the first thing that came to me is, if I were you, I would certainly look for social news as my introduction, because we see these kinds of news very often, like some fishing people fell into the ocean, or some people at the shore was captured by a wave and fell into the ocean. So I would look for news, or even some news clips, 新闻剪接短片, and play it as an introduction. I know, but these cases are too uninteresting. So to give people better, because you have to keep in mind, this is not a talk for physical oceanographers. This is a talk relatively to public who are not that interested in physical oceanography, and you need to keep them interested. And the best way to keep people interested is always to use examples in daily life, and we have a lot of examples in our society. So I will use it as an introduction, and the introduction part is actually, I was actually wondering why the material method is before introduction, so I was a bit confused. Normally, we would not do this. So we would talk about the general background, where we want to do this research, and I would use news clips, and then I would talk about the material method, but the key problem of the talk was you talk too much about the technical details. Like, I know you probably are crazy, very interested in physical oceanography, but not the audience. So, as I said, when you give a talk like this, you need to think for your audience, not for your own interest. Like this, and you even say the word this should be avoided, you say you can search yourself. So you have to avoid this. You shouldn't tell the audience, you search yourself. Then why should we come to your talk? We can just go home and do the study yourself. So you please avoid this kind of statement and some very technical terms like, in my opinion, many of these are too technical. Like some equations like this, and you also spend quite some time talking about these equations. These can all be avoided. Instead, I think a comparison like this table. So if I were you, I would first show the photos of the HRF and briefly talk about the principle in a very easy way that makes sure everybody understands you. And then I would briefly show the photo of ADCP. I probably wouldn't show a photo like this. I would look for photos that ADCP is mounted in the water to show how it really looks like in the water. And then I will compare their pros and cons in a table like this, and the font should be larger. Then that would do well for material method. Then I would focus on the results itself. And then first of all, in the study, they talk about the validation of their method. And I think what was missing in your talk is you didn't really tell us how did they validate. They actually validate with the drifter tracks, but you didn't. I'm not sure if you talk about drifters. So you need to briefly talk about drifters, and
this is a way to validate their method, because drifter is a machine that we put into the water to see how things float. And then, if you want to talk about this picture where we have this skill score, please tell us a higher value means what, a lower value means what. Otherwise, we just say, okay, it works. It's really difficult for us to understand why, how come that it works by looking at these figures. Then, when presenting the case, I was hoping that you could present in a more story-like way. Because you were really fast when presenting this figure. And it was not until the QA session that you said clearly what really happened. What is the LKP, and what is RP, what is end. So this needs to be explained clearly. And if I were you, I would probably talk about the background story. And I would even search if there was news for this accident, and then show the news, so that this can be connected to our daily life. And then later, when presenting, I will not show the details. This is actually you talk about two methods. This is the results of the second method, and this is the result of the first method. I will probably show them one after the other, and then tell people, how do you think about their prediction results? Of course, this is a prediction afterwards, but you can say if this is a good result or not. This has a probability content and the others not. So that's a big difference. So overall, I think at the beginning of the talk, you spend too much time into the technical details, so that you do not have enough time to present the really interesting part of the story. So I hope next time I can see some improvement. Okay, so let's thank Kevin Chen.
What?